So today we will cover the rest of the topics of DC machines. The DC machines will be of two types: DC generator or DC motor. Okay, and in both the cases there will be three configurations. Means the circuit configuration will be there: shunt, series, and shunt series combination. That will be called as what? Compound. So that will become complex for you. So I'm not going to teach this topic, but we will see these two configurations of DC generator or DC motor. Okay. And we will see some formulas related to this. And those formulas will be based on KVL and KCL only. These are the basic things. Right, so you already know that the EMF equation of a DC generator will be this. This is the generated EMF, but in case of motor, that the same equation will be called as back EMF. Okay, the back EMF will oppose its cause of creation. So let's just see generator only. This is the shunt type of generator. Okay, this is the shunt type, and this will be series type. Why shunt type? Because you know that in order to have induced EMF, that will be d phi by dt. Okay, so there will be how there will be the variation of flux phi, means the flux is varying with respect to time t. So obviously the rotating, if this is the stationary magnetic field, okay, stationary magnetic field, but the coil will be there or rotating part will be there, that will rotate, and accordingly you will get the variation in d phi by dt, means flux cutting will happen through this coil. Okay, inside the machine this will happen, and hence d phi by dt will be there, that will be proportional to E induced, and because of that induced current and induced voltages will be there, and that current is called as armature current, and this coil is referred as armature coil. Okay, so in order to set up the flux, in this machine there will not be having the permanent magnets. So in order to get the flux, we will have what? Electromagnet. What is an electromagnet? It is like this, means solenoid will create an electromagnet. How it is becoming a magnetic material? Because we are applying the current through the coil such, and this is the iron material, iron core, and that is the magnetic material. When the current is flowing in this direction, so obviously the magnetic flux will flow in this direction from north to south pole. Okay, in this direction the magnetic flux will be set up. So that is called the, this is called the field winding, and this is the same. So field winding will act as an electromagnet that will generate the field flux, such that there will be the flux set up inside the machine, and these are the field flux. Okay, and armature is the rotating part of the machine in which the armature windings will be there. So armature windings will be rotated by means of the rotating part of the armature, such that there will be the um, what? Flux cutting will happen, d phi f by dt, and hence you will get the induced EMF. Okay, and because of the induced EMF across these two terminals, induced EMF is called the generated EMF in case of the generator, and when across these two terminals EG will get generated when we close the circuit by connecting a load across these two terminals, means the circuit is closed such that the load current will flow through this, and the shunt field will have what? ISH, that is the shunt current. Obviously this IF is the ISH because this is the shunt winding. Okay, so IA, total armature current, will be equal to ISH plus I load. Okay, so I load load current is IL, and this ISH is the shunt field. So in this case, first of all, we will operate it at no load, means no, the load is not connected. Then the whole current will flow through this such that there will be the flow of IF. When the flow of IF is there, then obviously phi f will get generated, and because of d phi f by dt, your EG will get generated, and because of the EG, when we close this circuit, okay, when we close this circuit, then IL will flow, right? such that IAR total equal to IL plus ISH. That is the thing, and this is called shunt generator because the field winding is connected in shunt. Shunt means parallel. Shunt means what? Parallel connection. The field winding is connected in parallel across the armature of the DC generator. Likewise, in case of a series DC generator will generate what? Terminal currents and terminal voltage. This is the terminal current or armature current, okay, across the generator windings. These are the generator windings, but this is the field winding. In case of series DC generator, the field winding is connected in series with the generator, okay, such that the ISE is the IF and ISE is equals to IAR only, and IAR equal to IL, because we have connected the load across these two terminals. So the voltage across the load is called VT, terminal voltage, and the current through the load is called IL, load current. Okay, and EG is the total developed EMF or the total generated EMF that will be generated across the terminals of the generator, and IAR is the total current through the armature. But here EG is not equals to VT because voltage drop will happen across the shunt winding. So EG equals to, as EG is the total generated voltage, so let us apply KVL equation. So EG minus, if the current is flowing in this direction, so EG minus IAR RSE minus VT equal to 0. So EG will be what? A voltage drop plus the terminal voltage across the load. That is the thing. Next, the generated power and the load power of the DC generator, because you know that EG and IA will be the generated voltage and current, and here VT terminal voltage and IL will be the load voltage and current. Okay, then the generated power will be what? Voltage into current, V into I. Generated voltage is EG and generated current is IA. But sorry, the load power of DC shunt or series generator will be what? Terminal voltage into terminal current, whether it is a series connected or shunt connected. VT into IL will be there, and that is called the load power, means how much power the load is consuming. Okay, then what is the terminal voltage of the DC generator? So you have to apply the KVL equation in that loop. Yeah, so for a series generator, okay, this is the series generator. I already told you about the KVL equation, and VT will be what? EG minus the voltage drop, because EG is the total voltage, and that total voltage will be there across these two branches. Here V drop will be there, and here V terminal will be there. So the total EG will be what? VT plus IARSE, and yes, there will be the armature resistance also, RA, and that is very small, means 0.1, 0.3, something like that. So you can add that resistance also. The total voltage drop will be RA plus RSE into IAR. IAR is the armature current. But in case of shunt generator, how to apply the KVL equation? In case of a shunt generator, this is the voltage induced across the armature winding, and the current, this total current IA equal to what? ISH plus IL. So IL is flowing in this direction, this will be plus, this will be minus. So in this loop, if we apply the KVL equation, then what is the KVL equation? EG equal to IL into VT. But if we have the armature resistance here, because armature resistance will be in series with the armature, always remember that will be in series with the generator. This is the generator structure, right? So if our RA is not equal to 0, then the KVL equation will be what? EG minus IAR into RA minus IL into VT equal to 0. So EG will be what? IAR RA plus IL VT. Did you understand this? Yeah, you can see this lecture once again. So let me just continue with another topic. So likewise, you can go for the shunt motor. This is the shunt motor, and this configuration is for the series motor. The only difference is that in case of a generator, you have to apply the electrical, no, sorry, mechanical energy in case of generator. Okay, so mechanical energy will be in the form of torque and speed, and in the output side you will get the electric energy, means Vt into Vt and IL. Okay, so likewise you can apply the KVL equation in this also. Here back EMF will be there, EB. You are applying the input as mechanical energy, and you are getting sorry, you are getting output as mechanical energy, but you have to apply the electric energy as the input to the motor, right? Such that this is the terminal voltage and this is the terminal current, and that current will be divided into two parts. This will be the field current and this will be the armature current. Okay, so total current will be what? ISH plus IL. Yes, hello.
Hello, ma'am. In generator, how mechanical energy converted into electrical energy, or electrical energy will going to convert into mechanical?
Okay, in case of a generator, right? I'm showing you. In case of generator will generate the electrical energy. This is input, and this is the output. Okay, so you have to apply the mechanical energy. Means rotating parts will rotate, and accordingly induced EMF. That is the generated EMF will produce, and armature current will get produced. And in the output side, you have to connect your load like this, so you will get the electrical energy that will be generated by the generator in terms of Vt and IL. So IL and Vt are the electrical quantity, whereas in case of mechanical energy, torque T and omega, these two are the mechanical energy related quantities. Okay, omega is the angular speed. You know that it will rotate like this, angular speed. And yes, n is the speed of the rotating part, that will be measured in terms of RPM, means number of revolutions per minute. N signifies the speed of the rotating part. So in case of generator, you have to apply mechanical energy, and that will be converted into electrical energy. But inside the generators, some kinds of rotating loss and the copper loss will also happen. That is the thing. And opposite to that, in case of a motor, you have to apply electrical energy and you will get the mechanical energy at its output, because it is a motor. So motor will drive the mechanical load, right? In your households you have seen some motors now, induction motors, etc. Yeah, I think you understood now. Yes, so coming to the next part. So I already told you that how to calculate the terminal voltage, how to calculate current, how to apply. Here you have to apply KVL. Here you have to apply KCL. Okay. In case of shunt generator, the field winding will be in parallel to the armature. But in case of series generator, whether it is generator or motor, okay. In case of shunt, across the motor, means in parallel branch, the field winding will be there, and that will generate the field flux. Okay, and in case of series generator or series motor, the field winding, this is the field winding, this is also the field winding, series field. Okay, so field winding will be in series with the generator or motor, as you can see that. So accordingly, the current will flow, and you can write the KVL and KCL equations. Okay, so I told you about the generators, KCL and KVL equations. So the same logic you can apply here also in case of shunt motor or series motor. Okay, mechanical energy will be represented in terms of torque. Torque is like force only. Okay, and speed, means if it is rotating in this direction, in anti-clockwise direction. Or omega is what? Angular speed, that will be measured in terms of radian per second. Omega will be be measured in terms of RPS, radian per second, and speed n will be measured in terms of what? RPM, revolutions per minute, right? But in case of electrical quantities, voltage V, terminal voltage, and terminal current or the load current will be considered. So these are the electrical quantity, or you can calculate the power that is consumed by the load. So these are the things. Okay, yeah, so this is input power applied to the DC shunt motor. This is the output power. Output, yeah, if it is at the, let us say this is the DC machine, whether it is a motor or generator, we don't know. This is input side and this is the output side. Okay, let us say that output side is has electrical quantity, and input side has mechanical quantity, means mechanical energy gets converted into electrical energy. So how to calculate power here and how to calculate the power here? So in case of electrical quantity, you know that power equals to V into I. So obviously Vt into IL will be the output power. But at this side, how to calculate the mechanical equivalent power? So P equals to omega into T. What is omega? Omega is measured in terms of radian per second, and torque will be measured in terms of Newton meter. Okay, so these two quantities are related to mechanical quantities, and hence you can calculate the output power as omega into T, right? Yeah, and T will have different formula also. Here kf is the constant, or the value, means you can get this k value as this k is different. Okay, that is equals to 60 into A divided by PZ, where P is the number of poles, Z is the number of conductors that are there in the slots of the armature. Okay, and A is the number of parallel paths, and IA is what? Armature current. This is the armature current that will flow here. So in case of motor, you have to supply the electrical energy, but in case of generator, you have to supply the mechanical energy. I think you understood the difference between these two. Once you practice now, then you will get more clarity. Then next, how to calculate the armature current of the DC generator in case of series DC generator and in case of shunt generator. In case of series generator, you already know that how to calculate ISE, that is flowing in this direction. Okay, IS equals to IA only, IAR only. So you have to apply just Ohm's law. EG minus what? VT divided by the sum of resistances, RA plus RSE. That is the current. But in case of the shunt generator, how to calculate IA? Here, this is the total current. IA equals to ISH plus IL. Okay, and yeah, and how to calculate ISH? This is across these two terminals, means what is the voltage? EG only. Yeah, but if you have RA here, that is the resistance of the armature winding, then EG will not be equals to VT. So across these two terminals, the voltage will be VT. Okay, then ISH will be what? Means across these two terminals also, the total voltage will be VT only. Then ISH will be VT divided by RSH after applying Ohm's law. So this is the thing. Likewise, you can go for the shunt DC generator also. Just you need to apply Ohm's law, KCL and KVL. That's it. Remember this thing. Now, coming to the numericals part, first we have to calculate the EMF generated by a 6-pole DC generator. Okay, having number of conductors as 480 driven at a speed. This is the N speed of what? 1200 RPM. The flux per pole phi is 0.012 Weber. Assume the generator to be lap wound or wave wound. Okay, so in case of wave wound, the number of parallel paths will be 2, and in case of lap wound, the a number of parallel paths will be number of poles, and that is equals to 6. So you already know that the generated EMF will be how much? P phi NZ by 60 A volts. So in case of lap wound, consider A equals to P equals to 6. In case of wave wound, you can consider A equals to 2, and you just put these values to this equation, and then you will be able to calculate the EG values in these two different cases. Understood? Next, a wave connected. Wave connected means A equals to how much? 2. Armature winding has 19 slots. Number of slots is 19 with number of conductors as 54 conductors per slot. So Z1, let us say. So total Z total will be how much? 54 into 19. Okay, so that will be 1026. That is the Z total. If the flux per pole, flux is how much? 0.025 Weber, and the number of poles is 8, P equals to 8. Then find the speed. We have to calculate the speed at which the generator should run to give what? EG equals to 513, means that is the generated voltage. Also find the speed if the armature is lap connected. In case 2 is lap connected. Lap connected means what? A equal to P, and how much is the value of P? P is 8. So first of all, let us calculate for the A equals to 2, and that is wave winding. So EG equals to P5 and Z upon 60A. So they have given these values except N. You can calculate N. N is the speed into 60 into A divided by P5Z. So in RPM, you will get the answer. Then you can calculate for lap connection, means you just need to replace the A value with 8. Likewise, you can solve this question also. That is the similar to the previous question. So I am leaving this for you. Next, a 50 kilowatt 250 volts DC shunt generator, means these are related to the load side. Okay, on full load means it is operating at the full load condition, means we are utilizing the machine with its 100% capacity. Full load means 100% capacity, and that is called as rated capacity of the machine. Rated capacity of the machine. Okay, and its speed, full load speed is how much? And full load equals to 1500 RPM, right? And the armature has number of poles equals to 6. It is lap wound, means A equals to P equals to 6 only, with 200 turns. Number of turns will be 200. So Z will be how much? 200 into 2, because two conductors will make 1 turn. Okay, these are the two conductors. So if you want to make it as a turn like this, so you have to join these two. So 1 turn equals to 2 conductors. Then total number of conductors will be 200 into 2, and that is 400. Then we have to find the induced EMF, EG we have to find, and the flux per pole at the full load condition. Given that the armature and field resistances are this and this, Ra is very small value 0.01, and RSH is how much? 125 ohm. So first of all, they have given the output condition, means the load is consuming 50 kilowatt of power. Power equals to what? V into I. Vt into IL is the output power. You already know, at a terminal voltage of 250, means they have given Vt also. This is the Vt, that is 250 volts, and yes, they have given the output power. So you can calculate the current that is flowing through this. So IL equals to what? P divided by V, and that is the 200 amperes, such that you can calculate, means the VT, the voltage across these two terminals will be VT only. Then you can calculate ISH by applying Ohm's law. So how to calculate the ISH? ISH will be VT divided by RSH. So you will get 2 amperes. Then in a shunt generator, IA equals to IL plus ISH, and that will be 202 amperes. You just add these two. After that, you can apply the KVL equation in this loop. Okay, because the current is flowing in this direction, so EG will be how much? EG will be VT plus IARA. Then you will get EG equals to 250.02 volts, and this will be equals to P5 NZ by 60A. such that you just put this value here, and then you can calculate the value of the flux per pole, and that will be 25.205 milliwebers, and this is the answer. Means EG has two equation. This is coming through the KVL equation, and this is the direct equation, the generated EMF equation. Okay, so this is how you can calculate the things. Next, let me ask you. Clear? Okay, thank you. Then in the next question, a four-pole lap connected means P is no, 4. Lap connected means A is P equals to P, and that is equals to 4. And a shunt generator means the field winding is in shunt with the motor. No, sorry, generator means these two are in parallel, and this is the terminal where the load gets connected, and the current will flow like this. Generator will generate the armature current, and it will field winding will consume ISH current. So IA will be IL plus ISH. ISH equal to how much? VT divided by RSH. Okay, and if RA is not equals to 0 means voltage drop will happen, and this is the generated EMF. So EG will be how much? IA RA plus VT. These are the equations. So what it is asking, RSH is given, RA is given, pole equals to 4, and lap wound winding is there, and supplies 60 lamps each rated. 60 lamps are the loads. Okay, each lamp is rated for 40 watt and 200 volts. Okay, then calculate the armature current. Means we have to find IA value, induced EMF, EG value, and the current in each parallel path of the armature. These are the parallel paths, and these total will be connected in parallel such that the total IA will flow like this through the generator. This is the generator, let us say. Okay, so we have to calculate the current that is flowing through each parallel path of the of the armature winding of generator. Then first of all, let us calculate the things whatever is given. The total load supply, as there are 60 lamps and each is having 40, each is consuming 40 watts. So total load total means what power, okay, consumed by the load will be 60 into 40, and that is 2400 watts. Then the load current IL will be how much? P divided by V, so you will get 12 amperes. Then we can calculate the shunt current also. Shunt current will be VT divided by RSH. VT is 200 divided by 100. Okay, so you will get ISH equals to 2 amperes, right? Then you can calculate the total armature current as IL plus ISH, and that will be 14 ampere. Then you have to calculate if number of parallel paths are there, and the IA total IA current will be splitted into these many currents: IA1, IA2, likewise IAN if n number of paths are there. Okay, then number of parallel paths, you know that in a lap winding means A is called as number of parallel paths. So there are 4 parallel paths in case of lap winding. So you have to distribute the current like this, because IA is divided into 4 parts. So IA by 4, IA by 4 will be 14 by 4, and that will be 3.5 ampere. Means 3.5 ampere is flowing through each branch, each parallel path. Okay, IA1 equals to IA2 equals to IA3 equal to IA4 will be 3.5 amperes, right? Then how to calculate the induced EMF? You already know this equation. Yeah, they have given brush drop. Brushes are there, as you can see here. These black parts are called brushes, and each brush, because brushes are used to collect the currents, and each brush is having how much? 1 volt of potential drop. Okay, so you have to include this also. So the equation will become like this: the total generated EMF will be shared between meaning shared between this VT plus the voltage drop. Okay, and how much is the voltage drop? Voltage drop across the armature resistance plus voltage drop across the brush. You can put these values so that you will get Eg equals to 203.4 volts. Yes. Now coming to the next question, a 4-pole DC motor. Now it is a motor. How much is the pole? 4. DC motor takes armature current because this is the motor. So obviously it will take electrical energy in the form of supply voltage and supply current. So supply current Is equal to IAR, armature current, that is equals to 6 ampere, and the armature has lap connected. Lap connected means number of parallel paths will be equal to number of poles, and that will be 4. Lap connected conductors. Conductors are 480, right? Then the flux per pole is 20 milliweber. Then we have to calculate the gross torque developed. This is the torque developed. Okay, here the torque will be developed, but when we eliminate the rotating loss, okay, then you will get torque developed across the load. So the torque developed means it is getting consumed by the load will be different from the gross torque developed. This is the total torque developed across the machine, but the load is consuming different torque, and that is called as load torque. Okay, so load torque is not equals to gross torque because the loss will be there. Then how to calculate the gross torque developed by the motor using this formula directly, and its unit is Newton meter. So you have 0.1159 is the constant value, then phi is 20 milliweber. Then how much is Ia? Yeah, 6 amperes. Okay, then P is number of poles and Z is number of conductors, A is the number of parallel paths. So this much torque you will get, that will be developed by the motor, right? This is the answer. Next, in this question, in a DC motor, the developed torque is 200 Newton meter at speed of 600 rpm. Okay, but let us say this is N1, but at N2 of 500 rpm means speed is reduced. Then how much will be the torque developed at this speed? So there you know that T mechanical will be how much? Omega T. Okay, the torque and speed relationship is proportional since the rated output power of the motor is a fixed value. This will be fixed or constant because this is the rated capacity of the motor output. So obviously torque will be inversely proportional of the speed, right? Then T1 at speed N1 divided by T2 at speed N2 will be how much? That will be omega 2 at N2 divided by omega 1 at N1, right? And this is omega means omega and N are related to each other. Okay, then you can calculate T1 divided by T2 equals to N2 by N1. This is the relationship when the power is constant. When it is constant, when the machine is operating at its rated condition. Condition means what? We are utilizing the machine at its 100% loaded condition, and that is the thing. This is how you can calculate the T2 value in terms of Newton meter. This is the relationship. It is useful to remember. The next, DC shunt machine develops an AC EMF of 250 volts at N equals to 1500 rpm. Then find the torque developed for an armature current of 50 amperes. Okay. Yeah, so what is a torque? When the armature conductors of a DC motor carry current in the presence of stator filled flux, then the mechanical torque is like the force, okay, that is developed between the armature and the stator. Stator means what? The part of the machine that is static in nature, but armature will rotate. So armature will have the rotating parts, and the torque is given by the product of the force and the radius at which this force acts. Then the mechanical power developed by the motor is how much. Mechanical power can be EB into IA in case of a motor. EB is the back EMF and IA is the armature current. Okay, in terms of torque and speed, the mechanical power can be this also, omega T, and this is related to mechanical quantity, and here this power is related to electrical quantity, right? So speed in radian per second is omega, but the speed in revolution per minute will be n. So there is a relationship between omega and n, and that relationship is this: omega equals to 2 pi n by 6. Yes. Then yeah. Yes, so in this question, what they are asking, find the torque developed for an armature current of 50 amperes. Okay. Now coming to the calculation part, first of all, we want to calculate omega. So omega is how much? They have given n value already. So omega will be 2 pi into n. N is 1500 divided by 60. So this much RPS you are getting. Okay. Then how much is the power generated EMF into armature current? Armature current they have given 50 amperes. So you have to this formula, use this formula, and generated EMF they have given 250 volts. So power will be, you have to use this formula because they have given EB and IA both. The power will be EB into IA, this much of watts you are getting. Now the power is mechanical power is equal to omega into T also. Omega value you have this power value also, such that you can calculate the developed torque equals to Pm by omega, and that is 79.577 Newton meter. Again I'm telling you, as you have two equations for the power and you want to calculate, you they have given n value, they so you can calculate omega value also. They are asking to calculate torque, okay, and they have given IAR also, right? EB is also given. So you have two equations of mechanical equivalent power, that is EB into IA, equation number 1, and PM is also equals to omega into T, but T is unknown. So first of all you have to use this equation. So they have given EB and IA, so you just put those values here. You have calculated omega using this relation, right? Then after getting the omega value, you please calculate the power by multiplying EB and IA. So you will get mechanical equivalent power as 125, uh, sorry, 12,500 watts. Okay. Then again use power equals to omega into T. Then T will be how much? Pm divided by omega. So you already calculated omega value, and you already got Pm value. Okay, mechanical output power. Then the torque value will be what? 12500 divided by omega value, that is 157.08 radian per second, such that you will get torque value this much, 79.577 Newton meter. That is the torque developed by the motor. Now the next question, a 4-pole DC motor takes 50 ampere armature current. Number of poles are 4. DC motor, it takes armature current of 50 amperes. Okay. Then the armature has lap connected. Lap connected means A equals to P equals to 4, and the number of conductors are 480. The flux per pole is 20 milliweber. Then you please calculate the torque developed, and that is the gross torque, okay, developed by the armature of the motor. So these are also the similar questions. Okay, so I am leaving this question for you. You can practice this in your free time. Now coming to the last question, neglecting the saturation. Saturation is related to the magnetic flux of saturation if the current taken by the series motor. Now this is the motor, and the field winding is in series with the motor. Okay, and these are the terminals through which we have to give the supply to the motor, and this is the direction of current, this is the terminal voltage, this is the field current, IS equal to IAR only, and here the back EMF will be reduced. The current taken by a series motor is increased from 10 amperes to 12 amperes, that is the IAR value, then the percentage increase in its torque will be. Obviously, if it is taking more current, then there will be more opposition, and more opposition means more develop the mechanical power, and more mechanical power means more torque or force, mechanical force will be there. So there is the concept for a DC machine, torque is directly proportional to what, flux per pole phi and Ia, that is the armature current, right? So in case of DC shunt motor, the flux is constant. Shunt, it will take 5 sh only. Okay, after this the flux will get saturated. Okay, hence the torque is proportional when the 5 sh is constant, right? So you will get torque directly proportional to Ia only, because when the Ia will increase or decrease, then accordingly torque will increase or decrease. But in case of DC series motor, as you know that the current is directly going through the series field winding. So ISE equal to IAR in case of DC series motor. Then obviously when IAR will increase, means this current is increased, then obviously this will increase. When the ISE will increase, then obviously phi SE will increase. Then and this will increase in proportion with this. Phi SE will increase in proportion with the armature current. Then how to write this equation? Torque directly proportional to phi into IAR, and chunki phi AR or phi SE is related, directly related to IAR, means directly proportional to IAR, then you can write like this, torque directly proportional to phi or IAR square. Okay, so you please remember this, means in case of DC series motor, the flux saturation will not happen, and it will increase according to this equation. But at the saturation condition, when the phi is E gets saturated, means saturated, so phi SE will become constant, and then you can write, you can eliminate phi SE, and torque will be directly proportional to Ia only. So these are the things. Now we have to calculate the percentage increase in torque. So what is the machine? This is DC series motor. So the relation will be what? Phi into IAR torque. If the saturation is neglected, means saturation is not happening, then phi into phi, means phi SE directly proportional to IAR, or torque directly proportional to IAR into IAR. So torque will be directly proportional to IAR square. So you please use this relation, because they are neglecting the saturation. Okay, then T1 divided by T2 will be how much? IAR 1 square divided by IAR 2 square. Okay, and what they have given, we have to calculate the percentage increase in the T1, right? So you can write like this, that the current is increased from this 10, the current Ia1 was, earlier it was 10 ampere, now it has increased from 10 amperes to 12 amperes. So 10 divided by 12 whole square. So T2, T1 by T2 will be this much, 1.44. Then T2 will be how much? 1.44. Sorry, T2 by T1 will be this much. Then T2 will be 1.44 T1. Means it has increased by 44%. When armature current is increased, then obviously torque will also increase, and that increase is from, when the current is increased from 10 amperes to 12 amperes, so the torque will increase by 44% from its initial value. That is the concept. Now you don't have any other question. So if you have any question, then you please ask through the chat box, or you can turn on your, okay, thank you so much, Vamsi. I think you are able to understand. You please practice the questions. Oh, thank you so much for giving me this rating. Thanks a lot. I was also dedicated to conduct the class, because you are attending regularly, right? So even one single student matters to me, and that's why I conducted the class regularly. And today, this was the last class. After that, if you will get any doubt now, then you can ask me in the group, so that I will conduct the doubt class if you want. So first of all, try to solve these example questions, try to solve the MCQs that I have already shared in the content portion. Okay. After that, you please appear for the mock test. We are ready with the first 50 questions. Thanks for taking. Yeah, thank you so much. So if you'll get any doubt now, then you please ask me, and you tell this to other students also, because you will get just simple questions from electrical. Yeah, sure. I really like your enthusiasm to learn the things, and obviously, you have to think about all the subjects, because a single mark matters to us, right? To every student. At least if you will get 4 to 5 marks now, then that will increase your rank. So this is very important to take care of every subject. Then only you will be able to become a ranker, because ranker will not skip anything. He will study everything and he will revise multiple times. Then only he will become ranker, right? So this is the spirit. You please practice, and whenever you get doubt, now you can text me in the group itself. These things are over, so I'm ending the session, and your course is also completed. Okay, I'm not going to teach you about the AC machines, AC motor, AC generators, because these things will become complex for you all. So this is the over. Okay, and we are not going to electronics part also, because I feel that I have covered the fundamentals of electrical engineering specifically. We are not going to electronics part or instrumentation utilization, because these things will come in PSC exams, right? So we will think at that time only. So thank you so much for attending the class. If you have any questions, then 5 minutes are left. You can ask me. Otherwise, I will end this session. No, then okay. Thank you and good night. And all the best for your exam. Please appear for the mock test, and attempt the questions honestly. Okay. After that, you see the solutions. So all the very best for your exam and for your bright future.
To watch the complete video, download Mining Gyan 2.0 app from the Play Store and enjoy seamless learning with Mining Gyan 2.0.